Hello everyone, welcome to the very long waited for Q&A vlog. So we received a ton of questions, and because of that we decided to break our Q&A into two parts. They won't be back to back. We actually recorded the first part but had some technical difficulties, so we took even longer because we had to redo it. We were able to save some of the stuff, luckily related to Kylie, so you'll see some random clips in there. But we are finally at our Q&A video. Sorry it took so long. I guess it took a really serious virus and isolation for us to get it done. Before we get started on the Q&A, Kylie's birthday is coming up. It is April 2nd. And because of all of this coronavirus stuff, we can't even throw a party for her. We had plans to do this really cool party. It's her 16th birthday. And now with all of this going on, we can't do anything. So we need your help to make it extra, extra, extra special. So what we thought of, and what we thought would be really cool, because she just came down from putting Alex down for a nap, but what we thought would be really cool is if we get all of you guys to wish her a happy birthday, whether that's a video, a picture, or just words, messages, anything. We're gonna include all of this in her birthday vlog, but we want all of you to hashtag tripletheshenanigans so that we can easily filter all of the stuff. And I think it'd be really cool to get just shout outs from all over the world. So
hashtag tripletheshenanigans on Instagram, we'll easily find it. On Facebook, you can really just post a comment on our Triple the Shenanigans page. None of that. That's what not what you want to do. You can always just direct message us.
We can't talk today.
And
I sure can't.
You can direct message us either on Instagram.
I think Facebook does hashtags too, no?
I don't know. Instagram, Facebook, whatever makes sense. And if you upload the video, like Cynthia said, we will include anything we can, words, messages, whatever, on the vlog so that you guys are included.
And as a special surprise and just birthday present, it'll make Kylie really happy if you go follow her on TikTok.
Yes.
She's trying to
be viral.
Not the coronavirus.
That was not good. She's trying to be TikTok famous. That's better.
I'm sorry. Poor choice of words.
Right now, yes. Any other day, it wouldn't have done anything.
No. What's funny is I was gonna say TikTok famous, and then you said viral, and I lost it. But yes. So go do all of that. Her birthday's April 2nd, and we're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do for her because we have to stay indoors, and if I'm being really honest, I don't know when she's coming home. She's with her dad, so I'm sure we'll get her for her birthday, but we gotta make it extra special. It's also the first birthday that she's spending with 4 more siblings because her little sister at her dad's was born shortly after the triplets. And so now that they're here, we'll get to shower her with more baby slobber. But yeah, guys, so let's get into our Q&A that you have all been waiting for. Remember, it's 2 parts now. This is part 1. We will eventually post part 2. I promise it'll be this year.
We still have
we have all of your questions. We have them all written down. It's just a lot for one video. So
yes.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, cool. All right, let's get started.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is a lot of our relationship questions that we got. So how did we meet?
We met, oh, we're starting heavy first.
Yeah.
We met at the gym. There was a gym in our city that I was working at. I was a front desk person, and she was teaching Zumba there, but it was like a step in when people can't come. So it's not like she was a regular teacher there, or instructor. My sister was a Zumba person. She used to go to the gym there, and she told me there's this Zumba instructor that works there, but I don't know her name. She's this white girl with a big butt, and she knows how to dance. I was like, I don't know who you're talking about. First of all, I barely know the instructors, and that doesn't ring a bell at all. And one day I went to work, and she walks through the door. It was funny, it was her and then Kylie right next to her. And I looked at her, and for some reason that conversation and everything about what my sister had said just clicked. I'd never seen her dance, I'd never done anything, but I saw her and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's who my sister's talking about. So she checked in, and I saw her name, and so I told my sister, hey, is her name Candice? And she's like, yes, that's her, that's her. And so ever since then, I just like, every time I would see her, hey, my sister really loves your class. And she's like, you should come to my class, blah, blah, blah.
So long story short, we met at the gym. So the second part of that question is, were we friends first? And the answer is yes. We actually started talking when I would teach. We would just have conversations. I would try to get her to come to my class all the time, and she kept saying, no, no, no. Eventually she came to my class. We started going out together, like to bars and stuff like that, hanging out with her sister, some of my friends, and then we just got really close really quick, and at that point we were inseparable, but we were still just friends. And then after about 6 months, 7 months, something like that, I guess it was a little longer than that.
Because we met, I think it was like January.
No, it was like August, September-ish that we had like met, and then...
Oh, and then July.
Yeah, so we met in like August, September, and then like the following year, July, is when we actually got together. So we were friends up until right before that. So yes, we were friends first, and so I don't know if we shared this part with you guys. I think we did.
But it was very early in our YouTube life.
But neither of us had ever been with the same sex prior to each other. I was married, I had a husband, I had Kylie, and what's funny is when we were friends, we'd talk about dating guys, and so
we would go to the bar together as best friends and like meet people and then hang out with them or whatever, and we'd talk about it. Yeah. It was weird.
So it was definitely scary, which kind of brings us into the next part of one of the questions is, were both of our families okay with our relationship? So we had no idea what this relationship was at the beginning. So we ended up waiting about 6 months of being together to try to figure out like, what is it? Because realistically, we knew that whatever happened, we would end up turning our lives upside down if we decided to actually tell our parents and Kylie and our family.
It was hard for us at first, because you know how, I mean, I'm sure you guys have experienced this before, but when you have a new friendship and then you start to see your friend like hang out with other people and like their time is being taken away from you in other places, like you get a little bit jealous, right? As a friend in general, no romantic feelings at all. We were feeling that pretty early on, and we were associating that to a friendship and the fact that we had this new friendship and all of that. But we then realized, like, okay, this is becoming more, it's not just a friendship, like I'm starting to have like feelings for you, but neither one of us really thought that that was happening. We were just kind of going with it. And what's funny is when we eventually came out and told everybody that we had feelings for each other and that we were dating, a lot of people were like, well, I knew a long time ago. And we're like, well, how did you know? We didn't know.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we always knew ever since you guys met, you guys were, and we're like, say what you will, but we had no idea what was happening until about, 7-8 months in.
So we ended up telling Kylie first, because we had talked about, and I made it very clear that if Kylie wasn't okay with it, that I couldn't do that to her, because the reality is that she's my daughter and
she comes first.
And she was young. She was like 10 years old, something like that. And so there was an understanding. We luckily live in a city that, same-sex couples and things like that are very common. And she actually had a really good friend in elementary school that had same-sex parents and stuff. So she'd been around it, and so she sort of understood it. But so I told her, and she was upset, but I think she was more worried about, what are people going to say to me? Are they going to pick on me? And, we made it very clear to her that, she doesn't have to tell anybody anything. She could just say that, we're friends or roommates, whatever it is that she wants to tell people. And we were okay with that. We wouldn't make her uncomfortable or make her say anything that she didn't want to say. So initially she didn't really tell anybody who Cynthia was to us. And
she would just introduce me as Cynthia. She'd never really put a label on me. Like, This is, my mom's girlfriend, whatever. She was just always like, this is Cynthia, this is my mom. And that's just the way that it was. Oh,
someone's here. Pause.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
Okay, well, we were talking about the question where both of our families okay with our relationship. So, told Kylie. She cried, was worried. We had the whole conversation we had, and then
took it one day at a time.
Yeah, and
from there,
I think after a couple days, a week or so, she was totally fine. Like, didn't bother her at all.
We were also mindful, like when we were around each other, we weren't like, doing stuff. It was just like we're friends. Nothing's changing. We don't want to make her uncomfortable. We're just gonna incorporate her in everything that we possibly can so that she doesn't feel left out. We got to make sure that she doesn't lose mom time, and that her and I also spend time together, because we weirdly enough have a lot in common, Kylie and I. Like music, movies, all this stuff. So we would just kind of do that, and day by day, like, it was not an issue at all. So
my parents initially were totally fine with it. My parents have always been super supportive, even in the past when I have made not so great decisions. My mom is more than happy to give me her opinion and her thoughts, but also follows up with, whatever you do, I support you because I love you, and it is what it is. Just take care of Kylie. And that's, the message that she would always get across. I will say that after a little bit of time, I think my dad kind of realized that this thing was happening and staying around. And I think he was also dealing with the fact that, like, he didn't see us as often and stuff like that, because, we have another person in our family, and so we do things as a family and stuff. And so I think he was having a hard time with it. I would say just within the last year, he's come back around and kind of opened back up, and we have a great relationship, and him and Cynthia have conversations now, and before we'd be around them and my dad would literally say nothing.
It wasn't like he was hostile or anything like that. He never made any negative comments. He was just quiet.
Like would not talk.
Could not get him to talk.
Yep.
He's a quiet guy already, but this was like to the extreme. We would go over for dinner, and I don't think I would hear him talk the entire time, unless it was towards Kylie.
Yep. And then Cynthia's parents, not so receptive.
I'm Hispanic. I come from a very traditional family where you don't move out of your house until you get married, and you get married to a man, and then you have kids. Like, that's just tradition. My mom and sister, I think, were the ones who had the hardest time with it. My dad, he never once said anything negative, but his lack of support, kind of, like, I felt like I didn't have support, but he also wasn't like upset towards me. And then my brother, he was the most understanding, but I still don't know that everybody really understands the situation. But my mom, I think, even within, I'd say the last year, like her and I finally had like a heart to heart, but it took, you know, 4 years for us to have it. And she said at first it was really hard for her because she thought she had done something wrong. And now tells me that she doesn't really see it as she lost a daughter, but more so gained one in Candice. But there are things about our relationship they will never understand, and that's okay. But they had a really hard time at first. I had also moved out of my house around the same time that all of this happened, and I was the first one to move out. I wasn't married, I wasn't anything, so I think that had a lot to do with it too. They associated that with me leaving because of our relationship, and that wasn't the case. I was just done with school at the time and I needed to move out.
Yeah, so I think a lot of the struggle initially was Cynthia was the first to do everything, like get tattoos, graduate from college, move out, like all these things, and then her and I told them that we were together. So I think there was just so much going on, and it all kind of happened around the same time that I think they were like, what just happened? And so
I turned their lives upside down, like, and that's the way that they saw things. And then I think the other part that I struggle with even now to this day is that then they associated everything about my childhood to my sexuality, or really my relationship with her. They started to associate everything about me to my relationship, like, well, you've always been a tomboy, you never liked to wear dresses, and you know, you were always really close to your guy friends whenever you were growing. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with my relationship. If I was married to a man right now, none of that would have mattered. Like, it's just things like that that they associated to me all of a sudden because of this.
Yeah, and the reality is we fell in love with a person regardless of what that person is we fell in love with that person, and sometimes you can't control it, and it was really scary for us, but I think we're in a much better place now as far as like acceptance from our family. There's still things obviously that we struggle with, but it has nothing to do with us being together. It has everything to do with like where we live, or
we got married, like her dad walked her down the aisle, my dad walked me down the aisle, everybody was there. There's been no like harsh or negative anything. Kylie is very much involved in both families. Like it's like any other relationship now, but it was not easy getting here. And I'll be honest and say that the only reason all of this was hard is because of like the society we live in. If society wasn't anything that we had to worry about, none of this would have been a big deal.
Yep. How long have we been together?
July of 2014.
It'll be 6 years this year. Wow. What? And we got married in August of
18.
Yep. I was thinking it wasn't last year because we had babies last year.
The last year has been a blur.
Yes. How do we make time for each other?
We don't.
Sadly, well, especially now, but I'll tell you that one of the biggest struggles that we have is getting people to help us watch babies. This isn't a situation where we can just call and say, hey, can you come watch the kids?
We want to go out.
There are 3, and
they're not easy.
They're not easy. Like, they're not hard either, but they're not easy. And if you aren't around it all day, every day, it's hard. It's really hard. And so we have really struggled because trying to get multiple people here at the same time is really tough. Like, we've tried to split them up, like with each of our parents and stuff. And, you know, we struggled with Alex having her separation anxiety, which, by the way, somebody's asked, it's gotten a lot better. Although we haven't really left her anywhere. I will say that
people can hold her.
Yes, before it was like anybody not her mom's or Kylie, it was instant cry face when you even got near her and crying. And now people can hold her and she smiles at people, and it's much better. So hopefully, fingers crossed, once all this stuff happens to go away, we can drop her off somewhere and she's gonna be okay. We'll let you know.
But really the only like her and I time that we get is after we've put the babies to sleep.
Yep.
But even still, the babies don't like fall asleep and stay asleep.
No.
We'll put them to sleep and then we'll like quickly have dinner or something, or start to clean up for the night. And then one of them will start to cry, so one of us runs upstairs. But we've been, at least for the last like week or two, been able to put them down. We'll watch an episode of something on Netflix, and then...
Oh, excuse me. It's like came from my stomach. Whoa.
We'll watch an episode or two on Netflix before we get so sleepy that we're like, okay, let's go to bed.
Yeah. So how has our relationship changed since having the triplets? That's really it. So Cynthia and I and Kylie were always out. Like, in fact, we got to a point where we would have to plan to stay home to relax because we were always busy, always doing something.
And we love to travel.
We love to travel, and we just love like just doing anything really. And so that is the biggest change in our relationship and our life really since having the babies, is we literally stay home 99% of the time. A lot of it has to do with the fact that they were preemies and we're trying to protect them from all of these diseases and stuff because they are, you know, more susceptible to getting those things.
The second part of that is our finances.
Yep.
Triplets are not cheap.
Yep, they're not cheap, so it's not like we can just get up and go somewhere with 3 babies and it's, you know, the same as it was before. And for a long time, we were just not comfortable taking 3 babies out, and it was really hard, but we finally decided that we have to do something because we were going stir crazy.
We blamed it on the car, but we've actually gotten really good at packing our Dodge Journey. So Dodge Journey, if you want some
advertisers,
some free advertisement,
we got you, because we've put all kinds of junk in there.
We can fit babies, car seats, strollers, dog, toys,
humans,
teenagers. We had more than one teenager.
And we've had like items that we've purchased at the store all at the same time. So we got you. We got you. If you need some advertisement.
We used to blame it on the car, and a lot of that we've just like, we're so desperate to be able to just go out and be normal and do things that we want to do without like, well, we can't because of the babies or whatever, that we've just made it work.
Yeah.
But one of the hardest things about the shift in our relationship has been the fact that we can't just, hey, let's go to the water park this weekend, or hey, let's go take a trip to the beach and just hang out for 3 or 4 days. Like, we used to do that all the time, and we have yet to do that since she got pregnant, really.
Yeah.
So
one of the question is, what's the hardest thing you've had to give up since having the babies? And I think it's just that ability to just get up and go and not worry about who's around you or who's touching your kids or finances, right? Like we've always been very like, we've always had like our worries about finances. I don't care like how, I mean, it's just one of those things that we've always worried about, even when both of us had jobs, and it's just always something that's in the forefront of our mind. But we had a little bit more luxury. We didn't have to buy things like formula, diapers, wipes, all that good stuff. And so just that ability to do what we want when we want, basically.
It's been hard.
It's been really hard, but I think if you asked me would I do it again, I would say 100%.
Oh yeah, well, none of this, like, we wouldn't change a thing about our path with the babies or anything. Like, I would take these guys over and over again, and if somebody said, do you want another set of triplets, I'd be like, bring them on. I'm closer to my soccer team family.
All right, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna look at Grayson. You want to answer some?
Sure.
Without me?
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to do, so there's questions just for us, baby questions, and then pregnancy questions. There's some questions specifically for you about like, what do you do for work?
Okay, what do I do for work? I'll move over so I'm not awkwardly on this side. I am an IT person for a utility company here in our city. So the company that provides all of the power to our area, I work for their IT department, which is why I have the luxury of being able to work from home every now and then. I'm gonna add.
You can take the camera out and show them how we pick these kids up from their house.
Okay, pause.
That way. All right, we're gonna go get, I think it's Grayson. He's up from his nap. I'll show you guys what they do when they get excited. Oh, Mister's beating me up the stairs. Still getting our loft together. Okay, let's see.
dude. Hey, dude. Hurry before I wake up your sisters. Say hi. Did you go put your caca? Did you go put your caca? Got a little sleep sack on. Come on, mister. Come on, bud. Mister, come on. Look it. Look it. Hey, that Grayson. Say good morning. Good morning. What happened to your head, dude? Oh, you want to hold it? Okay. Say bye. Good morning. You want fuchikaka, nasty boy? Are you ready for your soccer game? Yeah? 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 Look it. Who's this guy? Papacito! Papacito! Papa! Papacito! Papacito! You're so silly. Has Candice done any of the vlogs? No. But that's only because I told her that editing the vlogs is a little bit therapeutic for me.
Goodness.
I'm a big like graphic design, video, photos kind of person. I just love that. So it's been a lot of fun for me just to edit these vlogs and have fun with it. She records a lot of it, but editing wise I do it. Mr. wants to go outside. Damn it. What made us start a YouTube channel?
I think initially we just wanted to kind of document our journey as far as having triplets, because we know how uncommon that is. And so that's what it initially started as. It was more for us to be able to kind of show the babies as they got older and stuff.
God, his poop stinks.
I know, he's so stinky. And then it kind of turned into this thing that like grew very quickly. The reality is we love being able to look back and kind of see where we've come from. We started it literally to document our lives for our kids, and we've continued because of you guys, and that's just really the truth.
Any advice for younger triplet moms or someone who is pregnant with triplets?
Don't ever turn down help. I think I'm the kind of person that I want to conquer the world by myself. I've always been that way, and I don't know if it's a pride thing. I don't really know what it is, but there have been times when people are like, oh, I can come over, and I'm like, no, I'm good. And then 2 days later, I'm thinking like, nobody helps me, knowing that somebody offered. But I'm also that kind of person that if you ask me, do you need help? I'm gonna say no. So I think my message to my friends was, don't offer, just come, you know, and they've taken that seriously and they've come to help and stuff. And but don't turn down help. Don't buy 3 of everything. Buy just the necessities, because by the time you buy those things, they're gonna not want them anymore. Excuse me, you're being kind of rude right now.
I just woke up from a nap. He's happy.
And especially if they're preemies, don't have any expectations for development and things like that, because I think one of the things that I've struggled with the most with these guys is I had Kylie, who started walking at 10 months, who started crawling at 6 months. So there's all this expectation and the memes that you see, expectation versus reality. You know, these guys are 11 months old, and Alex is just now pulling herself up, and you know, Grayson has no desire to learn how to sit up on his own. He can sit up on his own if you put him there, but doesn't know how to get there. And so there's all these things that I want them to do and I expect them to do, and it's made my life hell. like stressing about it, knowing that they're preemies. Even though I tell myself that, I still struggle with that. So don't expect them to do things. I promise you they'll do it when they're ready. When we were in the NICU, the whole feeding thing is what kept us there the longest. And they told us, like, one day it's just gonna click and they're just gonna get it. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, that doesn't make sense. Like, what can I do? And they're like, you just have to keep trying. And I'm like, well, I am, and it's not working. And then next thing you know, we were bringing Alex home the next day, and we were bringing Jordan home a couple days later. And so
it's been, and that mentality and that thing of like, it just clicks has been a theory that has proven us wrong every time. It's been with crawling, with learning how to eat something with texture, or with learning how to roll over, like all those things. It literally is just that. One day they wake up and they just figure it out.
Doing it. Yeah. And I think the other biggest thing is get your butt out of the house. Yes, you have to worry about the flu season and RSV season and things like that, but be a jerk if you have to and say, don't touch my kids, get away from my kids.
Put a sign on your stroller,
on the car seats, whatever.
Some, like, peace of mind or something.
Don't restrict yourself from going out, because I will tell you that you are gonna go absolutely insane. We struggled for the first probably 2 months that the babies were home, because we literally did nothing and we didn't let anybody come over. We thought that we were in Groundhog Day, because it was so miserable. And so, like, we were trying so hard to enjoy our time with the babies, but we felt like we were in a hole, and it was terrible. So don't restrict yourself from doing things just because you're worried about them getting sick. I'm telling you, if you have to be a jerk and say, get the hell away from my kids, then do that. But it's just one of those things that you have to get out of the house.
For me, honestly, the thing that I find myself saying mostly to her and to myself over and over and over again is,
this isn't forever.
Well, that too. But take one day at a time, one moment at a time, one day at a time. You look back and you're like, I don't know how we got here. But really, you did so much, and you just handled the situation as it went, instead of, oh my gosh, what if they get RSV? Oh my gosh, the flu. Oh my gosh, what if they like spit up in the middle of the night, and like SIDS, and like all these things that you start to freak out because you're thinking about a billion things that may never happen to you. And so for me, it's just like take it one day at a time, one thing at a time, and stop stressing about the what ifs, because there are a billion of those.
And it's hard, but you have to. Kylie, question number 1.
Yes.
What grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
Which is what grade?
10th.
10th grade. How's school going?
Yeah. Give us more than that.
Give us more than a
Cool.
What does that mean?
Good.
Do you like your teachers? Most of them, right?
Sure.
This year you like most of them?
Sure.
What's your favorite class, and it can't be lunch?
Yes.
When have I ever said that? Never.
I would pick lunch, that's why.
I would pick recess, if that was a thing in high school.
It was not.
I think I'm showing our chonies in the back.
Yeah, that is. It's gonna sound weird, but I say biology.
Okay, that's fair. Have you guys cut up frogs or anything yet?
We don't do that.
No?
No. I did that in 8th grade.
Did you know that?
What?
They don't cut frogs or anything in biology?
I did do that in biology.
Really?
Yeah. The only class I did that was like an anatomy class.
That's weird.
STEM.
Okay. What's your favorite color? Today, what's your favorite color?
Okay, I don't know. Honestly, don't
No?
know.
Give us 2 at least.
Teal and yellow.
Teal and yellow. Teal's been around for a while. Kylie, how do you like being a big sister to the babies?
I like it.
Yeah? What do you like about it?
That they're little.
That they're little? What happens when they get big?
I get to torment them.
Oh, okay.
Do you miss being the only child?
No. They never do anything.
What?
I never did anything.
You never did it. That's not true.
We went on vacation. We went to the gym.
Yeah, we went to the gym a lot.
I go to the gym stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you making? Your mom scrambled for tomorrow. Oh.
Do you like high school? How's your other new sibling?
Good.
Yeah, she big? She crawling? She walking?
She's usually a little bit ahead of ours, huh?
A little bit.
Barely though.
Do you drive by yourself now?
No.
When do you get to drive by yourself?
In April.
Around your birthday?
Yeah.
Do you ever watch the babies by yourself?
Oh yeah. Sometimes.
You have. You've watched them like here and there by yourself. I don't know that it's been more than, you know,
An hour.
an hour, yeah, but that was also when they were really little too, huh? Where do you want to go to college?
UCLA, Oregon.
What do you want to go to college for?
I change my mind every day.
So what are some ideas that you have?
Psychology.
Psychology, anything else?
Woohoo!
Yeah, psychology.
Why, yeah, psychology.
What? Because that's what I studied.
I know. What else would you want to study?
Orthodontics.
All right, someone else is awake. I don't know if it's Alex or Jordan. Hopefully it's Jordan because Alex just went down. And that girl gets grouchy without naps. You'd think I'd be skinny walking up these stairs as many times as I do. That's right. Hi, baby. Hi. Come here. Who is that baby girl? Oh, yeah? Good morning. Good morning. Who's that? Look at. Is that Jojo? She's not even looking in the mirror. Mama. Hi, baby. Say good morning, Mommy. Hi. Say good morning, Shenanigans fam. I just got up from a nap. Wow.
So while she gets the TV situated, I saw a question there, or really just an update on my job and my schedule. We had agreed to slowly transition me into working 100% from the office again. I was about a week away from doing 8 hours every single day when this pandemic happened. So because of the pandemic, our company ended up sending everybody home. So I'm back to working from home until further notice.
Update on my job. I don't have one. My job is to take care of these 3 rugrats. And
I'm gonna say you have one. It's
yeah,
just doesn't,
it's different.
It doesn't pay you money.
So to tack onto that, there was a question that asked if we were worried about finances.
Every day.
Are you worried about money, the house, finances, since losing my job, since we just bought the house? We are negative money. Luckily, all of this came at a time in which we were able to file our taxes, so we now have our tax money to help kind of offset that amount that we lost. Obviously, that's only gonna last us so long, so we'll have to, once we get closer to that, we'll have to determine what the next step is, whether it's I get a part-time job.
But until we can do that, we're just taking it day by day and only buying the essentials and doing everything that we can to make sure that we cover our bases with, you know, our finances, and we're okay. We just have to be smart, and we have to play Tetris.
Yes.
With our finances.
Yes. But we're not
gonna lose a house,
No.
or we're not gonna, you know, we're gonna eat, we're gonna do all the stuff that we need to. We're just in need of a little extra income to cover the rest of our costs.
Yes. So we're gonna skip on to some baby questions. I know you guys are excited for those. So what would the babies' names be if they were opposite genders?
And then
So
it was,
you're not answering the question, baby.
hold on.
There's another question that you're already like going into.
Right.
So answer the question of what would the babies' names be if they were the opposite genders?
Okay.
So 2 boys and a girl.
Okay, so the boys would have been named Grayson Antonio
Yep.
and Lucas Raul.
Yep. Which is our dad's
The middle names are the
first name of our dad's.
dad's first names, and that would have been easy because we had 2 dads. We could cover both, but because we only had 1 boy,
We nixed it.
We threw both dad names out the window and
then
did something unique.
Jordan Ray would have been the girl name, regardless. So the second part of that question is
I got yelled at.
How did we choose their names? Jordan Ray? I don't know. It just kind of happened and we loved it and stuck with it.
Well, we wanted to be able to call her Joe.
Yes.
That's really where it came from.
Yeah, what's funny is the girls' names we picked based on nicknames. So it was gonna be Joe or JoJo for Jordan Ray, and then Alex was either Alex Jade or Charlie Jade. We went back and forth, so it was either CJ or AJ, which we don't call her, by the way.
I try, but she just looks like an Alex.
She does. She does. And then Grayson, honestly, we loved the name Grayson. What's funny is we watched a show we watched two shows. One is called Drop Dead Diva, and one of the lawyers on the show is called
his first name
is Grayson. And then we watched another show called Revenge. If you haven't watched either of those, go watch them, they're really good. And the last name of the family was Grayson.
Yeah.
And so we just really liked the name Grayson. And then his middle name, what's funny is we were watching the MTV Awards, something, and Drake came on and it showed his name. It said Aubrey Graham. And you know, Cynthia's giving Kylie crap because she loves Drake, and she's like, what kind of name is Aubrey, and blah blah blah. And then Cynthia said, well, what about Graham for a middle name, Grayson Graham? And Kylie's like, yes.
Well, we love the way that it sounded together,
so we were
too.
like, done. And so now Kylie is all about like, Grayson's named after Drake. Yeah, so she loves it. Yeah, she loves it.
She loves Drake.
That's how they got their names. Yep, so.
I do.
Okay. So another name question was, did we agree on names right away? I don't know that we ever disagreed, but I think we went back and forth so often, especially with Grayson and Alex's name. Like we'd throw something out and it would be like, oh yeah, kind of like it, or no, I don't like it. So
there were some names that were thrown out that we would give each other that like, really?
Like,
you like that name? I don't know what those were, but
how do we tell the girls apart? So
when they were babies,
a lot harder. And what's funny is we look at pictures sometimes and we're like, oh gosh, if we can't see their hair color or something really well, we're like, who is this baby?
Sometimes they're turned in a certain way where like certain features just look like the other baby, but
now Jordan has the darker hair. Alex has like really light blonde, plus she has a crap ton of hair now, so that's obviously the dead giveaway. But they're so different. Alex is a chunky butt, she's bigger in general. Jordan's very slim. Alex has blue eyes, Jordan has like brownish green eyes, so it's very easy to tell them apart now. So how are the girls doing without their helmets? Great, actually. So you guys saw the developmental appointment follow-up that we had. They had asked about the helmets. We told them that we decided not to do it. And they even mentioned how great their heads looked. They're not perfect by any means, but they look a million times better than they did. So
by the time they get to be 2 years old, you're not gonna be able to tell at all.
Can you throw Mr.'s toy?
Which one is it? This one?
I don't know.
Mister, is it the monkey?
Yep, I guess so.
If you throw the wrong toy, he won't chase it.
He'll look at you like you're dumb. Do we sleep in shifts? No.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
What's funny is we look back at our YouTube videos every once in a while at the old ones, and we were watching that shift one and we were thinking, God, could you imagine still doing that? I could not. I like being able to sleep with my wife, guys.
Same. Do the babies have any long-term effects because they're preemies? There's a few things that could potentially come up more so with these guys than with full-term babies. So one is their vision. Because they were all on oxygen, we actually had a vision follow-up appointment pretty recently. They all are great, they don't need glasses. And we'll follow up probably every year until I'm assuming like age 3 or something like that, just to make sure that they're still good. Oxygen is something that can mess up a baby's vision, preemie or not. So vision, Grayson and Jordan have what they call, it's a PDA, you guys can look up the term, but basically there's a valve on their heart. They actually had 2 that didn't close after or when they were born, which is pretty common, and they usually close within the first year. Our last cardiology appointment, they still hadn't closed yet. At least one of them hadn't, so we have another follow-up in a few months just to check in at where they're at. And then of course developmentally. At this point, we haven't seen any long-term effects, and we don't anticipate any, but we'll constantly follow up to make sure that that's the case. Do we plan on teaching them Spanish?
Yes.
What will each of the babies call us? Whatever they want. Mommy, mom, ama, whatever they want. Realistically, we call each other mommy when we're talking to the babies, but if they grow up and they want to call one of us mama, mom, whatever they want.
Whatever they're comfortable with. Yep. We don't have like, oh my gosh, you have to be this and I have to be this. Like, we're both gonna turn when they say mom, so.
When will they be moving upstairs? Will we send one baby up at a time? So I think in our last vlog we talked about they all moved upstairs. They're all in their own room at this point. We also moved upstairs. So the second part of that question is, are any of them sleeping through the night? Sometimes.
Big milestone, and I don't know if it's gonna happen again, so I'm gonna say it anyway.
Jordan slept through the night last night.
Slept through the night last night for the first time in 11 months.
No, she's done it before, but we can probably count on one hand how many times she's done it. So Jordan slept through the night. Alex woke up once for like an ounce of a bottle and then rolled over and went back to sleep and slept until 8 o'clock. Grayson woke up at 5:45 to eat. I think he might be going through a sleep regression because he usually will stay asleep until like 7, and he's been waking up once like before we go to bed and then waking up super early. So I think he might be going through something. So as far as sleep training, because that's another question, is did we plan on sleep training? Here's the thing, is we have a nighttime routine, which we do every single night. And we do believe that that's helped a lot. We have a noise machine, we have blackout curtains, we have all of that to help them sleep. I can't let them cry, mostly because it's heartbreaking, but honestly, I can't let the other 2 kids not sleep either. So it's a decision that we've made. Like, honestly, I told Cynthia, if we have to get up once with each baby every night, I wouldn't care, because that's once with each baby. The part that we struggle with is when like Alex is going through her leaps or whatever it is that she's going through, and she wakes up, you know, every hour on the hour, and then you got Jordan waking up at the same time. So no, I mean, to the extent of letting them cry it out or whatever, I can't do it. So one question that was asked was, will you be adopting the triplets and will they all have the same last name? So we live in Arizona. Luckily, because we're married, Cynthia's name is on the birth certificate. She's their father.
I'm listed as the father.
She's a dad. I'm like, Father's Day father. So there's no adoption process, anything like that. Her and I are both listed on. Hey, you guys need to share.
She's eating the blow while he's rotating it.
So they were both listed on the birth certificate, so they belong to both of us, and they all have the same last name as me. Cynthia has part of the same last name. Our goal is to obviously get her to that last name. There was a whole fiasco.
I'll tell you really quick. We changed her last name almost right before the babies were born. Otherwise, had they been born when she had her ex-husband's last name, our babies would have ended up with her ex-husband's last name.
I mean, they would have the same last name as Kylie.
No, but no.
Do they have the same dad? So the answer is yes. So we actually chose, and this actually answers another question, which is, do we know the donor? We do not know the donor. We actually chose an anonymous sperm donor. I ended up having what they call 6 mature follicles, which basically is eggs, right? That are ready to be used, so to speak. So we actually did something called IUI. It's intrauterine insemination. So it's actually a step down from IVF. When I say step down, it's cost cheaper and the procedure is much less involved.
This is probably TMI, but it is the turkey baster method.
Basically, yep. They go in and they put the sperm in and voila, you have kids or you don't have kids.
But because of that, the success rate is very low.
Much lower. So we ended up doing IUI. So somebody asked if they were all my eggs. The answer is yes, because we didn't do any like egg transfer process or anything like that. So one of the questions is, what was our reaction to having triplets? So we'll tell you guys a story really quick, and then we will include the actual audio clip of us finding out there was 3.
I was recording on my phone with just the voice recorder. It wasn't a video or anything. I forgot that we had it.
Yeah.
And this is the clip that you're gonna hear.
This is the clip that you're gonna hear. So I'll just leave that there for you.
Sorry, I'm just getting the lay of the land.
Oh, you're good. You're good. No worries.
So we can see 1 heartbeat there, and I can see 1 heartbeat there, and I don't see. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna push with a little more pressure, but okay. I am almost 100% sure that there's 3 heartbeats.
Oh my god.
So I'm going to show them to you. I'm going to point them out.
Oh my god.
Okay. So obviously we can clearly see that
Yes.
one, right? And then there's a baby. There's 1 right there, and there's 1 right there. So I don't know if you can see that flicker on the TV. Yeah. Okay. This one's a little bit harder to see, but can you see that? Yeah. So there's 3. There's definitely 3. And I'm just, because this one is the easiest for me to see, I'm just going to measure it first and call it A.
Sure.
But A, B, and C can sort of change throughout pregnancy.
Yep, so there you go.
That was our reaction.
So one of the other questions was our experience at the clinic and getting pregnant. But I am so happy that we decided to go with the clinic that we did, because everybody was super helpful, super friendly. I felt like the process was so easy compared to what I assumed it was gonna be. So do the babies have both of our genes? No, it's just mine and the donors. How did we decide who was gonna carry?
So, long story short, Candice is 10 years older than I am, and she has mentioned numerous times that she wanted to have another baby. She wanted to have more babies, and for the longest time I was really frustrated because I'm like, well, I don't even know if this is going to be possible for us because of the finances. We decided to go for it, and because she's older, I thought, well, if she gets pregnant first and has a baby, then later on I have more time if we want to do another baby. But now we have 3 more babies, and I don't know if we're gonna have any more.
There's the answer to one of your questions. Do we want more babies? I'll tell you that some days I say yes, and then other days I say hell no. Like, there's no way. So only time will tell. I think one of the things that I struggle with is I am gonna be 38 this year. And so I struggle that depending on how long we wait, I'm gonna be like 70 and these kids are gonna be graduating from high school. One of the things that we've always talked about is we want to have a life together without kids. And we know that this is just prolonging that.
And realistically, we wanted more kids, period. To me, it's not so much about you carried, I carried. Like, these are my kids. No matter how you look at it. We were gonna foster to adopt. We had, done all these scenarios, and that doesn't, blood doesn't make you family. And so for me, it's like we have these 3 amazing kids out of this crazy experience, and like I don't feel like we're missing anything. I feel like we're complete.
I do too. So somebody asked like more about our story of like getting pregnant. So if you have more questions based on what we've talked about, there's one more question about pregnancy that we'll hit on probably in the next vlog, which is how did we choose a sperm donor? But beyond that, if you have more questions, just comment and we'll be happy to answer it in the comments if you have any specific questions. But hopefully we covered enough of that. And now let's go get Alex.
Yeah.
Okay, 3rd baby. She didn't sleep very long. Alex! Turn these things off. Is there Alex in there? Come here. Show them how you stand up. Do it, baby, do it. Good job. Go, mama. You're too far. You're too far. You gotta move closer. Mama? Well, get up. Hey. Hi. Hi. Hi, Sleepy Girl. Hi, Sleepy Girl. What? You want out of there? Whoa, whoa, whoa. You gonna fall. Who's that pretty girl? You got red face? We rubbing your face, girl? Who's that? Who's that? You gonna go downstairs? Good morning, everybody.
Oh my goodness, look at your face.
I know.
What happened?
Hey,
What happened? Hairy head?
what happened?
What is that on her face?
And I think she I think that's why she's sleeping. Maybe she had her
She
hand
slept like that,
Yeah.
or what?
Something.
What you standing?
No,
Ah, boo.
no. Okay, so our final question for this vlog,
Part 1.
part 1 vlog of our Q&A. Don't worry, we still have all of those that we need to answer. So, how is Kylie? Oh, we can answer this 2-part. How is Kylie as a teenager? Oh, stop. I'm so sorry, Kai.
She knows I'm playing.
You give your take, I'll give my take.
Just kidding. So
To you?
here's the thing. The biggest thing for me with Kylie, when I came into the picture, she was already set in her ways. So living with Kylie and being a parent to Kylie has highlighted our very, very different upbringings, and with Candice too. But I very much believe in you earn your freedom and you earn your way to do fun things. And with Kylie, because she comes from 2 different households, she pretty much says, hey, I want this, and that's usually what happens. So for me, it's been an adjustment of like, this is okay, this is not okay, like you earn it, you don't really just get it. But Grayson. But overall, I think the things that we struggle with Kylie are child's play compared to what we could be experiencing with Kylie. And she's got an attitude, but she's a teenager. She rolls her eyes, but that's a teenager.
And I'll tell you, I was a little jerk teenager. Like I would talk back and stuff like that. And my poor mom, I'm so sorry, Mom, but
I think this is our karma from...
for sure.
This is her karma that
karma.
I'm also dealing with.
So my mom was very much like, oh, you're off of school, I left you a list of 17 things that need to get done before I get home. And I'm thinking like, what? Like,
Just because.
Just because, like, that's it. And so I didn't want to do that to Kylie. And so the other part of that is that she has her dad and her stepmom. And so there's all these parents that Kylie's had. And I've always felt that I don't want to be that parent that is so like strict and extreme, that there's just always this thought in your head of like, oh, my mom, right? I'm sure she still has that, but I think the problem is I may have been a little too light on her because I'm trying to compensate for her dad or for whatever in my head is going on. And so we're now struggling with like, Kylie, clean your room, and 14 times later, which again is all normal teenager stuff, because I was the worst when it came to that stuff.
It's more so like the, hey, clean your room. In my household, that would have been, okay, Mom, I got up and I cleaned it.
Yeah.
Because if my mom came back to ask me again within the same 15 minutes, I was dead. Like that wasn't the expectation at home. And with Kylie, I asked her to do something and she's like, okay. And then days later, it's still not done.
That was me.
And I tell her too.
And
I'm
I
like,
got to a point where my mom would just do it because she got pissed off.
so with me, that's my struggle, is like, I ask you to do something, I expect you to do it. I don't expect you to jump off your bed and do it. Like, I get it. I hated that about my mom.
Yeah.
So I give more leniency when it comes to that, but it drives me up the wall when weeks later it's still not done.
Yeah.
And then at that point I blow up, because I'm not an explosive person, but I blow up and I get
version of blowing up.
I get a little more assertive, and then things don't go great from there. But.
So regardless, Kylie really is a great teenager. She is a teenager for sure. She sits on her phone all the time, to the point where we have to yell at her sometimes, but she's super helpful with the babies. I think we got really, really lucky that we have the teenager that we do, because I think any other teenager would be like, screw you, I'm going to my room all the time. But she's great with the kids, and she's super helpful with the babies.
But even outside the babies, like she's always been a good kid.
Yes.
Like if we said, hey Kylie, can you make dinner? Can you start dinner?
Yeah, she's totally all about it. Yeah,
gets dinner started.
Yeah, if I say, Kylie, can you do the dishes? Can you wash the bottles? Like she's all about it. But she's a typical teenager. She rolls her eyes. She's got attitude.
She's a mess.
She doesn't talk back though. Like I will tell you that she has never once like gotten an attitude and talked back. Her thing is she becomes silent and gives you a death stare. We don't have to deal with half of the things that I think a lot of teenage parents do. And if we do, they're not as extreme.
What was the second part of that?
Oh, do we always agree on parenting?
No.
Babies, yes. Teenager, no. We'll just leave it there. But I will say that I think one of the things that I love the most about our relationship is the fact that we can be open and honest with each other. We are okay with talking about those uncomfortable things, and it may not always go smoothly, but I will say that we never let it get to a point where we're pissed off or frustrated and disagree to the point where we go to bed pissed off. Like that's one of the things that we've always agreed on, is we'll never go to bed mad. Communication is something that I think we do a really good job at, no matter how hard it is. So I think that's it for this one.
We've officially made it through Q&A part 1.
Yes.
I know it's a lot of talking, but you guys asked really good questions, and we want to give you as much information as possible. We've tried to include some baby stuff in there so you didn't get too bored of our voices. But if you enjoyed the video, guys, give the thumbs up button a click.
Please comment. We love your comments. You guys have, those of you that have already commented know that we will respond. I love reading your comments. Just so you know, I'm usually the one responding to comments. Cynthia's not the best at that stuff. So I'm usually, I'm usually the one that's responding. So if you get a response, 99.9% of the time, it's me responding to you. Even though Cynthia is the one that talks in the video, usually. So comment, like, share. Our channel has gotten a little stagnant as far as like followers and stuff. So if you know anybody that would benefit from our story or anything like that, please share it with them. We'd love to help anybody that we can. If you guys have any additional questions, I'll ask that you wait until the next vlog, the Q&A vlog. We might answer it, and then after that, we'll give you another chance to ask questions, and we'll kind of follow up. So, other than that, thank you for being here.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for watching. We'll give you one last swoop of some kids.
Swoop, swoop. Say bye-bye. They got little boogers on their nose.
Yes, they're little sick boogers. Say bye. Good job. Yeah. Say bye, bye, bye. Bye.
Deuces, like that.
Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Mister, can you say bye? Say bye.
Where are you going?
Mister? No? You sleeping? Okay. All right. These two.
What's going on? Babe, should we show in the backyard?
Yeah. Papacito. Say bye. Oh, you're so sweet. Am I your way? You're watching the wheels on the bus? Hey, booger face. Booger face. Say bye, Papacito. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'll move. Oh, shoot. Jojo, don't show them what you're playing with.
We're honest on this channel.
Jojo's playing with something she shouldn't. Oh, are you drinking? No, huh?
Wash them, don't worry.
We sanitize them. They just really like them.
Little bottles.
Baby, what happened?
She crying?
Yeah. Oh, she might have swallowed down the wrong tube. Can you say bye-bye? Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye. So we extended our patio. I think we showed you guys that in our in one of our vlogs, but it's extended. Don't mind our little rug. So we have gravel all the way around, and then we have a gigantic sand pit. It's super soft. It's like beach sand almost. So when the babies get a little bigger and we teach them not to eat the sand, we can come out and they can play in the sand. And then we have gravel. So Mister is getting to be okay with it, but we love it. Clearly, there's footprints everywhere. All right, guys, see you on the next one.